Good evening. I'm Davey, and today is your top story. Today's top story is my friend Joe went to the island of Sodor to interview a bunch of engines. These are the interviews. Hey, Duck, so our first interview. We're telling a few things first. Okay. I would like to tell you, why have you been working in the yards at Netford? Well, I was so good at shunting trucks and pulling coaches, but the diesel shunter by the name of Diesel arrived to Sodor, and he was the first diesel engine to come. But I was unimpressed, and I told him to fetch the trucks. Diesel attempted to take some rusty old trucks away afterwards, but their brakes had jammed, and all Diesel did was derail them. He had to help clean them up. The trucks were teasing him, much to his annoyance. Then, the trucks continued to tease Diesel even more, and Diesel believed that I made him look silly and had plans to have me sent away by telling the trucks bad jokes about the big engines and attributing them to me. The engines refused me to entry into the shed. As the engines argued, the Fat Controller comes to stop it, and after hearing all three sides of the story, he suggested me to go to Ellsworth for a while, and I sadly did so. Edward consoled to me over Diesel's lies about him, and I had to help him settle into life at Wellsworth. I had to take up as a position as a banker, but today the trucks broke away from another engine, and they chased me down Gordon's Hill. I tried to slow them down gradually, but I nearly collided into another engine and crashed into a barber shop. Luckily, the workman arrived to pull me out. The Fat Controller arrived, and he said I had narrowly prevented a very bad accident. The Fat Controller told me that Diesel had been sent away after he was caught spreading more lies, and the other engines are sorry. A few days later, I returned home, and I was given a huge welcome by my friends. Well, I better get going now. Goodbye! Okay, Thomas, I'm going to tell you something, since it's okay with you. Oh yeah, it's fine. I remember one time my driver joked that I could manage without him. I misunderstood him, and I boasted to Percy and Toby that I did not need a driver. The next morning, the firelighter came to light my fire. After somebody fiddled with the controls, I definitely moved all on my own and didn't stop, and I crashed into the station master's house when he was having breakfast. I felt sad. Later on, Donald and Douglas pulled me out with my funnel and front badly damaged. The Fat Controller told me after this, and I was sent to the works. After Percy's accident, the Fat Controller told Daisy for being lazy, but he had to give her a second chance for doing her work after Percy's accident. I came home the next day, and Percy is sent to the works, and all three are best of friends again. Well, I have to get going. Goodbye. So, Percy, you are the last engine we could really do. Okay. Well, I remember telling a ghost story to Thomas, and I claimed my driver saw a ghost train last night. But Thomas did not believe me. On my way home from working at the harbour all day, I crashed into a cart of lime that had become stuck at Crow's Farm Crossing. When the signalman remarked that I looked like a ghost, I made a plan and convinced Thomas I had crashed, and I returned as a ghost, scaring Thomas out of the shed. Thomas was still annoyed at me when I was delayed picking up bales. He claimed I was a green caterpillar with red stripes. I resolved to be quick, but was delayed when a crate of treacle fell on me. It was wiped off, but as I returned home, a gale whipped and I was covered in straw. Now Thomas had the last laugh with Toby. I felt very silly. Oh well, I have to go now. I have some shunting to do. Good luck. And so, those were the interviews. I'm Davey, and I am signing out. Good eye, folks.